Hi, I'm Bhavesh from IIM Ranchi. I just completed my 3 years of IPM. We have an interview with our program chairperson, Professor Deepak Kumar. After you fill the IPMAT Indore form, you need to fill the IIM Ranchi form separately. Oh, and if you've not heard, we have topic test and unlimited sectionals and 75 IPMAT marks.
Hey, it's afterwards.
So people are worried about their personal interview round. They have certificates from NGOs or maybe some online course done. What is your take on that?
It's good to have done extracurricular activities, but you should always expect questions from those activities. Many people take part in blood donation drives. They should know how many blood groups are there, Rh positive, what is Rh negative, who is a universal donor. So if you have certificates, there are chances you will get asked questions from that. And if those basic questions you are unable to answer, that creates a negative impact. So instead of having a lot of certificates, if you do a few things and you know about it much better way, that would seem more helpful.
So it's a very good idea to focus on the exam and not substitute their academic preparation with all these extracurricular activities.
Okay, so as the name says, extracurricular activities, so it's extra. So it's an addition. It can give you an additional benefit. It cannot be the main thing.
We had recently had the Merit-Cum-Means Scholarships and 2 of our batchmates also got it for IPM. Can you share more on that, sir?
So this scholarship is given every term, a category for minimum CGPA. Along with that, it depends upon how much your family income is. So there's a formula based on that. A merit list will be created, and on that 40,000 scholarship is given each term. So each term you can get back 40,000 if you score good and also you qualify the other criteria.
A lot of students self-reject because they do not have 90% in their board exams. Your message to them?
So once you are called for interview, I think self-rejecting shouldn't be done because there are various components. So based on all those components, you will get a final offer. Even if you score less, your interview might go too well and you may qualify. Worst thing would be you gain experience out of it. Best thing would be you get selected. So self-rejection shouldn't happen.
So since you teach finance, and if there's a student from commerce who might have 75, 85 in the boards, but if they're able to answer the 12 questions correctly from what is a ledger, what is a P&L, what is a balance sheet, and if you ask them to write some journal entries, they're able to do it, will that substitute for the lower marks of boards, at least in the eyes of the interviewer?
So different interviewers will do it differently. So if you have A+ throughout and in certain subjects and you are unable to answer basic question, that creates a very negative impact. For people who have less marks and are able to answer, that will be a positive impact. Yes, it depends upon the expectations.
This year, the curriculum was revamped. We have business electives and enrichment electives. And this is to make sure students use their time wisely. And a lot of our juniors were also very appreciative of the fact that all their suggestions were also incorporated. Can you shed some light on that, sir?
The idea is to give practical knowledge.
Hello everyone, I'm Haley Acharya, IPM first year student at IIM Ranchi. तुमने कभी सोचा था कि IIM रांची के क्लासरूम में हम तारक मेहता का उल्टा चश्मा के कैरेक्टर्स लाइक जेठालाल, चंपकलाल उन सब के बारे में पढ़ेंगे एंड वी विल हैव अ लिटरल केस स्टडी ऑन देम फॉर अ 10 mark paper for our end terms. Yes, in the one and only media and entertainment industry primer with Mr. Altamash Aslam from IIM Indore, we had to do this.
We have a lot of people in contact and we are trying to figure out what courses could be made from them. Industry professionals as well as people who are offering newer kinds of subjects. Earlier, we didn't have any electives. Now we have at least one elective in each term, and as we go down the line, the number of electives increase. More industry people we are expecting will be coming and giving practical knowledge and helping them, the students, to gain experience.
So do you think IPM students would make very good MBA students and in turn become very employable down the line?
I think so. Basically, the soft skills which are required for jobs that are being imparted when the students are in the first 3 years. The 2 years which they will be in MBA, in that period they'll be able to better those skills. Others MBA students who come there, they have very less time. So it depends upon the perspective. What IIMs can offer, that cannot be offered by all the institutions. Here we have a lot of case studies, group assignments, and I already told you about the soft skills. You won't be able to have that in most of the colleges. And for getting employed, apart from having the subject knowledge, these are also required.
I remember in our first case study of accountancy, you had given one from the person who runs away from the cafe. You shared that was one of the first case studies which every accountancy course has at Harvard, right, sir? And if I compare that with some of my friends who went to local colleges, it's very theoretical for accountancy. People just say ki XYZ bought this, they did this, journal entry likho. So I can definitely attest to that answer too. So these are some questions from our students. Gaurav asked, is there any distinction made between a fresher and a dropper when it comes to the interview round?
If I as an interview see a drop year, I usually ask, so what were you doing? And based on the responses, then we take the conversation forward. So there's no bias due to that.
If they say that, sir, we were preparing for IPMAT and we really wanted to get a head start by coming into a IIM, that is why I did not join any other college, would that be considered a good answer for you? Because obviously interviews can be subjective.
So it will depend upon the other answer that the student gives. So this statement can be given by anyone, but then your other answers will have to prove that what you are saying makes sense.
Dhruvi asked that what are the entrepreneurial opportunities that IIM Ranchi can give? Do they prefer selecting students who has experience as an intern or a co-founder? Or even if someone who does not have any business experience but has good academics and cleared the cutoff, is that all right?
You will see everywhere there would be people who will be very good in studies, some people who will be good in the extracurricular activities, some people a mix of both. So if you are only giving your time in the extracurricular activities, then that's a problem. But if you are giving more time in academics, you are having most marks, certainly that will be acceptable.
Thank you so much. Is there anything you'd like to say for the incoming batch of IPM 24-29?
So for all the aspirants, I like to say all the best, prepare well. Interview, I'll tell you, is just a conversation. You don't have to be afraid of it. So it may be the first interview of many of you. So you just have to come there. You have to be prepared based on the facts which you are providing and some general knowledge. Whatever is happening in the world, at least you should know some things in depth, other things in breadth.
Am I right in thinking that the interviewer would also want to basically know the thought process that the student is having, how they are coming to an answer? So if someone says, draw the graph of sine theta, so people just draw the graph and then show them like this. But if they can share more details as to why it passes through the origin, why it works like this, would the interviewer be impressed?
It depends upon the question. So usually there are follow-up questions. So if you are asked one question, you respond to that, there will be a follow-up question. So you would be asked. So if somebody asks you how many houses are there, so if you take time, if you calculate something, you will be asked how you make the calculation.
Alright, sir. And since the first IPM batch is coming to an MBA, any advice you would have for our own batch who might be watching the video?
Some of you are very good at time management, but now you won't be considered children. So now in MBA, things will happen faster. I have very positive hope towards the batch because I'm seeing the abilities of some of you are very good.
Almost 10 to 20% of the batch has also gotten calls from IIM Blackus. So they are also going to show that IIM Ranchi molded me, and there's a proper character transformation of a lot of my friends. If we look at their first year and the way they are after 3 years, absolute difference. So it's a great place to learn, grow as a person and as a human. So thank you so much, sir. We recently added a feature of time per question, and due to that, the students shared that they were able to cross the 3-digit marks for the very first time in an IPMAT mock. Knowing how to skip questions is key. Knowing how to pick questions is the art behind IPMAT. We try to bridge that gap between you and the objective. So please do use afterwards, and if you have any questions, do let us know. Ta-da!